goals in this game.
Here we go. We're live. We're live. Welcome to Stirring the Pot with Lou Marconi and Johnny Cleveland. Part of the Fanatical L's Network, fans first. Join us now. Hey, join us now, Lou. Lou, how you doing?
I'm great. Well, yeah, I'm good. I'm real good. I'm real good. How about you?
Victory Monday, man. Victory
It's
Monday.
easier to do these shows after a win. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the comments to roll in.
We have not experienced this very often.
No, it's the second time this year. Yeah, so hopefully we can start rolling. I think we're going to talk about the game. We're going to talk about JOK and what really how that went down. I can even tell you a couple like two other stories like pregame stuff and during the game.
Yeah,
and
tell
everything
us your
else.
stories.
Okay,
No.
well, okay. I was telling you a little bit before the show. I was tailgating, hanging out in front by City Hall in front of the stadium.
Yeah.
And there's this guy walking by, and he had this really cool logo on his sweatshirt, and it was a microphone with a beard on it. My friend said, "Hey, man, that's a cool sweatshirt." He goes, "Oh yeah, it's our podcast." Blah, blah, blah. And I looked at him. I said, "Oh, Bearded Browns podcast." She goes, "Oh yeah." So I shook my hand and said, "Hey, I'm Lou Marconi, Fanatical Elves."
Yes.
Burning River Browns talk. Oh yeah, come on over here. You got to meet Mike. And I just went over there, and they knew who I was. So it just really blew my mind. I was like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" It's just we started talking. I said, "Love to get you on." Small world, love to get you on, especially on Browns Twitter. Like, the weekend before the Bengals game, I didn't tell you this. I ran into Gab Gowdy from FanDuel, and I got interviewed by her.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she goes, "Oh, hey Lou, you want to do an interview?" I said, "Sure." So she just asked questions. She asked Harvey and I questions about Nick Chubb because it was his first game back. She was real nice. I'm not surprised how short she was, but she's little.
Tell me who this is again. This is
Gab Gowdy. She's a Twitter person. She does work for FanDuel.
Okay.
On Twitter. Yeah, I've seen her on Twitter a long time, many years. And that was pretty cool. And the second story was I tweeted this picture with Brownie the elf mascot.
Yes.
And all the way up in section 503, almost all the way to the top.
Yes.
And because I'm 5 rows down, so I'm covered and everything from the sun, but the sun was getting through somehow on my back of my neck this whole time. I think it's going to be different come Sunday because I think we fall back an hour and a clock, so the sun will be in a different place in the sky by the time. It'll be almost dark by the time the game starts. So,
oh my gosh. Well, I have a question for you. Okay, so I'm going to be up there that week to Saturday. We're going up to Geneva on the Lake.
Yeah.
And we're going to be then coming, my wife and I will be coming to the game from the opposite direction. So you're an East Sider. So tell me if I want to take the train or the metro, where should I drive to?
The Rapid?
To hit the Rapid to then go into downtown if I don't want to go all the way in the downtown. Like the East Side, I was thinking like where my grandma used to live off of like Mayfield and stuff.
Shaker Heights. Mayfield wouldn't be bad. You could do Mayfield, but the farthest east is Green Road. The Green Line.
Green Road,
takes you to Green Road. Yeah, that's where I get
that's where my grandma used to live. She had an apartment off of Green Road.
Yeah, Green Road and Shaker. Yep.
Okay, so if I'm looking at my MapQuest or my maps, whatever, I should just
that's a tough thing.
Go Rapid, like Green
Road and Shaker Boulevard. Yep. It's like and
I can just park my car there.
Yep.
Okay, and just ride it in. Like I get the app. I have the app on my phone. I just do that, and it's like $5 all day.
Yeah, you can do that. You could do that. Yeah. What I do is I get on and then I pay at the kiosk in Tower City, and then I keep the ticket with me, and that's how I get home. So.
Oh, okay. So then so when you come in, they just let you through, and then you buy the ticket there.
Buy the ticket there at the kiosk, and then in order to get out, the ticket has a code like a barcode, right? And you scan it,
right?
So that's what we do. Yeah.
Is that which line? Which line is that? That's not the green line. So usually
green line goes Green Road.
Okay, so and the red line is one I've been usually taking.
That goes west side. That goes west
like
side.
Like the airport. Is there another line? There's a red line.
There's a blue line that goes to Van Aken.
Okay, which is where?
That's more Cleveland Heights area.
Okay, so
Uh,
I'm not gonna worry about
yeah,
that
you
one.
no, don't worry about you could, but I think it's easier to get to Green Road and Shaker because
Yes.
yeah. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Well, that's good. I'll put that into my maps and we'll go from
Mhm,
there.
mhm.
But
Just
so I didn't get to go up to the game. You were there.
yeah,
Not a
yeah.
lot of people thought we
Well,
were going to win this game. 1-6
no,
coming into it.
not many people did either, but as the game went on, they
Yeah.
started believing. I remember as soon as I walked into the stadium too, they were playing Journey, "Don't Stop Believing." I'm like, "Hmm."
Really?
Yeah, it was funny.
Oh, that is
But
funny.
let me tell
Yeah.
the story about the brownie elf, how he got
Yes.
up there, why he was up there. I
Yes.
was sitting next to a guy that might have been like a little bit older than me, but then his son was next to him, and today is his 8th birthday. So since he was his birthday, the
Yeah.
mascot came up, gave him a chain with a dog bone on it and a
Yes.
chain with a dog medallion. He got his picture with him, and he was and there was like a row of some empty seats, like all the
Yeah.
seats were kind of empty in front of me. So I took one step down, and said, "Hey, let's get a quick pic," and I did that. That's
Uh-huh.
exactly what I did.
Oh,
And
that's
all the
great.
people were like looking at me around there. So I'm taking the opportunity. Why not? And he did it.
That's
He was
good.
cool. He gave me a fist bump afterwards. I was like, yeah. So I had the only thing was that shadow from the sun going where it was at was on the
Oh, yeah, you're in
it's up
503, right? You said so we're like
503.
opposite. We're pretty much opposite ends because I'm on 544.
Yeah, and Sherry didn't make it, but she'll be on Friday. She wasn't feeling good, so I said,
Sure.
"Hey," I said,
Yeah.
because I
It
texted
seemed
her.
like it was a pretty packed house with
It
lots
was
of
good. It
seats.
was a good. Lots of seats were there, but not. There
Y
was some empty. There's some places that had some empty seats in them, and there's just
Yeah,
it was easiest for me to climb down one row and then get out to the aisle
sure.
that way
Yeah.
versus climbing
What
over
was
all
the
these other
feeling?
people.
Tell me how did you feel at the end of the game? I mean, I heard from people that said it was as
People were
loud
hugging
as
each
it's ever
other.
been.
They
Yeah.
were hugging each other, happy. They were just, they were. It's most of the time people were like, "Well, where was this all season?"
Yeah.
And I made a point, and I'm going to make this point too. I said, "This is the healthiest the offensive line has been all
Mhm.
season."
Yeah.
And the healthiest Nick Chubb has been all
Sure.
season. He
Sure.
had 56 yards rushing on
He
16
did.
rushes. So
Yeah.
he went from 11 to 16. Maybe
So
he'll do close to 20 this week. I don't know against the Chargers.
when you're thinking, I mean the the next question I have is, because
Mhm.
of the
Good
what you
questions.
said, like everything that you said is true, the health of the Chubb and the offensive line,
Yeah.
but a lot of people,
Thank you for the
just a
comment. Sorry.
lot of yes, a lot of people just are saying, just visually, it just seems like, and if you go back and see the
Mhm.
last, 6 or 7 games without Deshaun Watson, quarterbacks have been throwing for over 300 yards, and Jameis Winston threw for 334 yards. A lot of people are going to just say it's all about the quarterback. Now,
Not
can
necessarily. Well, there's
yeah.
also more to it too. They had to respect our running game. Plus, their secondary, they're down both their starting cornerbacks.
True. That's a good point. The
So I
Baltimore
mean,
was
there's a combination of things, and to be honest with you, and I'm not gonna what we had some luck go our way too because there's some definite
oh,
interceptions that were dropped, and there were
oh,
passes that were dropped,
Lou,
and
the last one there, the last interception that could have been for
everybody looked.
Baltimore.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
I was in a sports bar and I mean everybody did everything what you guys did at the stadium. I mean, it was
like
like
okay,
right.
and then
I
the next
mean,
play he throws a touchdown pass, perfect touchdown to
oh, it
send to
was
Tillman.
yes, yes. I
Uh,
just so many things that went on in that game.
yeah.
Jameis Winston, what do you think of like him just in general? He's such an interesting, weird kind of character. Like he had these moments before the game. I don't know if you caught it on the pregame. He had this sort of stoic sort of look, and he talked about praising Jesus and God, which is great. But
That's his
then,
religion, yeah, sure.
yeah, but then like, and then there were other moments where he's really getting aggressive and everything, and then other moments where he just acts silly, and he's like an A personality. He's like all over the place. I just would be very interested to see what he would be like in real time.
Yeah, in real life, just meeting him in person.
Yeah.
I've heard that from people, he's always been like that even when he was at Florida State. Just so you know, I've also heard this too, but I don't know how true it is that they were mad at him because he audibilizes a lot. When the play is called, he'll
Mm.
switch the play. Like and instead of sneaking it and he did the jet sweep to Tillman, that was his audible.
Oh, okay.
I've heard that. I heard that. I don't know how true
Mhm.
that is. So, like a lot of times when people like say things about play calling, yeah, sometimes the quarterback changes the play and it
Mhm.
doesn't work. So,
Yeah.
anyway, that's besides the point. I think He won a national championship in Florida State. He was a runner up
Mhm.
for a Heisman Trophy, and he was the number one
Number one
overall
draft
pick.
pick, right?
Yeah, so he's capable. I even said that when I wrote about him starting. I said this guy's capable. He can do it. It's just a matter of, hey, are all these other
Mhm.
things around him going to be there for him? And Cedric Tillman, God, did he step up? I mean,
He
he took advantage of
Mhm.
the opportunity that was
Yeah.
given to him. In the
Lou,
last two games, he's done
there were
very well.
20 receptions by wide receivers of the 27 completed passes. 20 of them went to wide receivers in yesterday's game.
And Njoku had a touchdown.
Mhm. Yep.
Trying to think who else. There was another tight end that I didn't even. Wright was his name. Like
Mm,
I'm talking about one of the guys, one of the like
yeah,
third string tight
I'm
ends.
trying to remember.
Yeah,
Elijah Moore, finally his name is popping up again, making
yeah,
some big
he's
catches.
made some big catches and
Jerry
plays.
Judy continued. I
Jerry
mean,
Jeudy had a couple catches. He had a good game. I think everybody on offense had a pretty good game. You know what I was really watching for in that game was the left tackle, Dewan
yeah.
Jones.
Yeah.
And I thought he did a good
It's his
job.
natural position at Ohio State. I felt,
He played at Ohio State
and
for
there
a
were
little bit.
very little. I don't know what the number of penalties were, but we only had a
Mhm.
couple. In that, and there was rarely, we didn't have any of those illegal motion. I mean, I think
We
maybe
had
we
we
had
had we had a
one
couple offsides
or
by Wyatt Teller. I remember that false starts.
yes, but not much, not much.
Right. Sorry. I had a
Really,
cold.
no.
I woke up
Yeah,
with a cold.
I gave my cold to Lou, even though we're a
We're
distance
like
away
we're
online.
he's in Columbus and
Yes,
I'm up in Geauga
I'm
County.
5 weeks in on my cold. I have tested negative for
Yeah.
COVID a few times, so I'm all good. But this damn cough, finally, I'm all over the cough. So that's,
Yeah.
but anywho,
Yeah.
what were your takeaways walking away from that game? We're 2-6 now. How do you feeling like after the whole thing?
Well, I think if people feel better after a win, as always, I'm gonna say this, that if that people were saying this team would have won last week against the Bengals that played like
Mm.
that.
Oh
And
yeah.
they probably would have beaten the Raiders, and they probably would have beaten the Giants. So
Mhm.
if we had that line and Nick Chubb, it would have been better. Maybe
And the
Watson would have
quarter
been better.
and the quarterback.
And the quarterback, you want to say the quarterback too? Yeah. I'm just saying, well, Watson's numbers weren't horrible, but
No, I'm
they
stirring the
weren't
pot here,
good.
Lou. I'm stirring the
Well, no,
pot
no, you
here.
can stir the pot all you want. I was waiting for people to start commenting, say, "It was the play caller, it was the play caller." Really, I mean, having
No,
Dorsey, I didn't bother me having Dorsey call the plays,
no.
but what I liked though was when I heard he was going to be up in the booth, and I thought that helped.
Mhm.
Versus being on the field as the head coach, so
Right.
that I think helped. I
Did you see
absolutely.
the replay of our special teams coach
Mhm.
Bubba Ventrone? He went over to try to talk to Stefanski very late in the game, and he got close to Stefanski, and Stefanski shoot him away. It was pretty funny.
Like, get the hell away from
Yeah,
me.
that's basically what he did, and so people are commenting like, what exactly did Bubba say or do or whatever? But it was just one of those moments. It was interesting to see Stefanski without that sheet in front of him.
Yeah, like he's
He
ordering from Denny's or something.
right, right.
The Denny's menu, everybody
No, but
calls
I
it.
think that helped too. Like, we didn't see as many penalties.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb, like you said, he had 16 carries, 56, 55 yards.
Mhm.
Had one run of 15 yards. Everything else
And he
was
had some good runs, and towards the end, he wasn't doing as well, but yeah. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
no. They're the Ratbirds they were coming into that game strong against the run. I think the Browns ended up having 90 yards of rushing yards. They actually I think they outran the Ravens, or came close to.
Derrick Henry had only 73 yards.
Yes, I think we lost in the run, the total rushes, but you're right, Derrick Henry, and
Well,
I give the Browns credit for that because they've always historically done well, for the most part against Derrick Henry. I can
yeah,
remember going back to the
I
Titans game where they completely shut him down.
I remember talking to, like, the bearded Browns talk guys and other fans before the game. Said the thing with him, what the Browns like to do is they
Yeah,
penetrate and they get to him early before he gets a chance to run downhill.
yeah.
You give that 250-pound guy a head of steam, he's going. I mean,
Well, and the
and
Browns, yeah.
yeah, that what happened to JOK. He had a head of steam, and that was a collision.
Uh,
Ooh.
and
But go ahead.
thank God he's okay, right? You said he.
Yeah, well, from what I've heard, he's out of the hospital. He tweeted, he said all's well. And when he gave that thumbs up, I said,
Mhm,
okay, people are like, he can move his arm. That's good.
mhm,
Because it's
mhm.
scary to see somebody carted off the field like that.
No, it was really what a hit that was.
They held Henry in check. That's right, Brian. They did.
They
They did.
did.
Yeah, they did.
I think too. The other part of this, Steve Gill, our Dog Pound South
Mhm.
contributor, he talked prior to the game with me on the pregame show just about Lamar Jackson and the Browns sometimes in the past, and again yesterday, were able to create some havoc for him in the backfield and had Lamar kind of doing some things that were frustrating him. That Steve was hoping
Oh,
that the
he
Browns would
threw
do that,
some in
and
frustration at the end of the game.
yeah,
Yeah, he was mad, of
yeah,
course, but yeah, he was frustrated because
yeah,
our defense I'm still trying to tell people, "Guys, yeah, as much as we started out slow because of a lot of injuries,
yeah,
it starts with the O-line to play complementary football. Now we can do it."
right,
It's like this is the way it's supposed to work.
yeah,
So, it'd be interesting to see, take it one game at a time, how we do again because you got it. Well, plus keep in mind too. I remember I said this last week. The Ravens were coming off a short week with 2 back-to-back road games.
you're right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and then he goes, I will say fire Stefanski, Barrett, you the best, the Ivy League dub." Okay. All right.
All
Thank
right,
you. Thank you.
we'll move on.
No,
Um,
no, no, no. I just up,
yeah,
I put the comment
yeah.
up. I said,
The
thank you. Well,
the I quick question. Okay, so
we could talk about the Chargers later.
well, I
I mean,
want to talk to you about the Chargers because, well, yeah, we
yeah,
can talk about them later or now. I guess the Chargers, like they've always been one of these teams that you think they're coming here to Cleveland. We think now, okay, we're rolling on a win. Didn't the Chargers win Sunday? Did they? Did
they
they?
beat the Saints. They beat the Saints.
Right. They're
And the
kind of one
Saints
of those
just
deceptive teams with Justin Herbert back there. You have
yeah,
to respect the quarterback.
you got to respect the quarterback. I really don't know. I think yeah, the thing is you got whenever a West Coast team comes out to the Eastern
Yeah.
time to play a 1 o'clock game, it's always advantage to us. They
Yeah.
just they just had a win over the Saints. God bless you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. So
I'm catching your cold.
yeah, you are. It's not serious. It's just more
I
of a
know.
nuisance than anything. It's just I woke up with it and I'm like, oh, damn it. I said, I'm standing, you go to a game, you're in a packed car with people,
Right.
packed, rapid transit car, and you're in a
Oh
packed
yes.
stadium. You're bound to catch something. But
Yes.
but Harvey was fine. So I don't know what he took his like I don't know,
The
emergency or
vitamin. Yeah, the emergency stuff. Yeah.
airborne. He had the more
Yeah.
airborne or whatever he took.
Uh-huh.
But but yeah, I just have to look at kind of do a little bit more of an in-depth analysis. I'm trying to see here. And Cavs, it looks like they're winning in the
Are they
fourth
winning now?
quarter, 84-80. Yeah.
Wow, good job for them. Dean Wade is my buddy, man. Dean and I go way back. I think I've told you this story. I know Dean personally.
Yeah.
His coach. I know his coach better than Dean, but I've had a chance to meet Dean. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's from Kansas, grew up in St. John, Kansas, little town there, and got to start following him when he was in high school. My daughter was in high school too at the same time. So,
I th-
anywho,
Creole, just San Juan Creole. Watson's done. I mean,
yeah.
I think they're going to move on from him.
Well, that's
Even
going to be Steve. Let me ask you this, because Lou, that's an interesting topic, because I know this is a
and
hot
then
topic among.
we could talk about Jimmy
Yes.
Donovan too. Thank you,
Well,
Creole. Go ahead.
um,
Go ahead,
no,
John.
but I think this is a really one of those things. Lou, I agree with you. I think Watson's done here. I mean,
Oh,
I don't think he'll
he,
ever play again. But we have a lot of people still, and we have people on this podcasting platform like Steve and a couple other guys. Well, Steve's probably there, but he's like adamant that we're definitely going to keep Watson because of the contract. And I'm like, no way in God's green earth is the fan base and everything going to keep this guy around. And then Watson
well,
doesn't want to come back. I mean, after what
if
happened,
if he, well, let's just start with what happened.
okay.
Because we talked about that. Because the guy sitting next to me said, "Yeah, I heard there was chance of you deserve it," and I'm like, I said that never happened. That was
No, that
somebody
was all. Yeah,
that was edited in. When I talked to Noah on the East Bank show,
yeah.
we were just going back and forth a little bit on Twitter about it. He was at the game too. And he was in his own section, and I said I heard very limited cheering from people,
Mm-hmm.
and it was when the car came out, and most of them were Bengals fans that did that.
Yeah,
And it was just kind of like I think it was blown out of proportion. I think a lot
absolutely.
of it was blown out of proportion just where that happened. So anyway, just putting that aside, just getting that
Okay.
out there, because
Okay.
I said it wasn't nearly what people said it was,
Right.
and that was that. And I went to who else? Rod. I what I we how can I say, with Watson, if you
Mhm.
watch the way that thing tore, it
Yeah.
almost, if you watch the back of his leg, it looked like it rolled up like a window
Yes.
shade does,
Yes. Yes.
and it's like he's not going to play next year.
Right.
They they his contract makes him almost uncuttable. So
Yeah.
the best thing to do is just to leave him alone, let him at least this year and next year, 2025. But if you cut him June 1st in 2026, you could um you could have some cap relief if there's some sort of
Well,
reworking.
that's what Lou. I was going to mention that to you too, because our colleague Rod Bloom, who does the Browns Blitz, he was talking, and I think this is accurate, that because of what happened to Deshaun, that the Browns will get $60 million in insurance on this,
I
and
don't know
so
how much, but it's some cap relief. I don't know how
yeah,
much
and
it
so
is.
that he basically was saying of the money that's remaining, which is like 170 million, that we're going to have 60 million of that taken off of that 170. So that's only leaving the team with 100 million dollars left, which is much more manageable long term.
At
That's why I mean,
170, yeah.
yeah, I just don't think. I mean, I look, I might be wrong that
I don't think he's gonna play again because of how bad
no,
that Achilles rupture
I
was.
think you're right.
I'm not saying he's
No,
done
you think
incredible.
about
I'm
it like
saying he's
Aaron
done
Rodgers,
good.
right? You think about Aaron Rodgers had the similar. I don't know
It
exactly what
wasn't
he.
nearly as bad though.
No,
It
okay.
did
I
no,
mean,
because it didn't roll up like that. I
so
mean,
he took a whole
he had a
year.
partial tear. He had a partial tear, and he took like a
Yeah.
whole
So I
year.
mean, even
And
if he came back, it would be October, November, December next year. That's not going to happen. He doesn't want to play for the Browns anyway. I
well,
just
yeah, I don't know if he can,
well,
even if he can, or if he will. I don't even know. Much less does he want to. I don't know for sure. He might want to. He might not. I don't know. I'm not gonna say, I'm not putting words in, I'm not putting anything
yeah,
in his head.
yeah,
Um, I am gonna say that Jameis Winston um, is more vocal, more animated, more that might be
emotional.
emotional. Where Watson just never was like that.
And do
And
you think that the players fed off of that? I do. I think that
oh,
part of the
it's an
reason,
emotional game.
yes,
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's an well, I always say in this too, because one of the things that guys were talking about getting rid of Stefanski before the game, and the thing they just didn't like was that Stefanski is more stoic as a coach.
steady Eddie.
Steady Eddie. He's just, which is fine. That's his personality. That's who he is. Like when he does interviews, it's kind of like he doesn't give anything. He doesn't now, but fans remember, like a lot of Steeler fans and a lot of football fans remember Bill Cowher, and you
Yes.
could see that, and he's mean,
Yeah.
he's spitting all that. He shows that, and it reminded me of always what I was taught when training to be a pro wrestler was
Yeah.
sell with your face.
Yes.
Like, have your face up, let them see the struggle, let them,
Yeah.
people will get behind you.
Yes.
The master at doing that, believe it or not, was Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
He was a big guy, and he got the crowd behind him because he was a big
Yes.
guy that could do that, and
Yes.
that worked. So, who just hit the 3 for the Cavs? That
Dean Wade.
was it Wade? No, I
I
think
don't know.
it might have been, I can't see it because it's on my phone, but it's 89-87 Cavs with, oh, 6:20 left in the fourth, so there's
Oh,
lots of time.
lots of time.
Yeah, so anyway, it's a big game, though. I mean, the Knicks are a tough team. The
They
Knicks
are.
they're a good
Yes.
team. So, anyway, I got off subject here. I just think that, that's just who Stefanski is, and that's just how he is as a coach,
Mhm.
but he deserves all the credit for the
Mhm.
team win just as much as he deserves the blame for a loss, so the record is what it is. We're 2-6 now instead of 1-7, which is a
Mhm.
lot better. Nobody expected us to do anything. I
Right.
I was look. I went home. I got home and I was looking for highlights on YouTube of the game because I wanted to see highlights
Yeah.
of everything. And I was walking, and there was CBS guys were talking, and I don't
Yeah.
know who these guys were on CBS, but they're both like, they put their hands like, "How did this happen?
Right.
How
Well,
did this happen?"
Rex Ryan earlier, right before the game, an idiot coach, former coach.
Oh yeah,
He's like, what's his Greeny on ESPN said he took the Browns in an upset over the Ravens. And Rex Ryan looked at him and started laughing hysterically, threw his arms up too, and was like, "Are you kidding me? You're taking the Browns?" And Greeny was like, "Yeah." And he says, that's just silly or whatever. And I was like, Rex
Well,
Ryan, just go home. Did we score again?
no, it's tied 89.
Uh
But yeah, that is interesting that Rex Ryan did. No, see, because obviously I wasn't watching TV. I was walking up the many ramps to get up to
that's right.
the stadium.
Do you walk it? You don't take like is
No,
there
I walk it. I walk. I
you
get my
walk it?
exercise. I get my exercise.
Okay, yeah. See,
And I
now
get
I
my
had this
stairs. I
issue
get
with
my steps in.
I didn't like going up the one escalator for a while, but now I do. I have this
Yeah.
thing with heights and stuff, and so it took me about a year.
Speaking of that stadium, there was it's just a little side that we were talking about this. There was I-Team in Fox 8
Yeah,
station, which is an investigative team reporting Ed Gallic.
yeah.
They were pointing out stuff that the city is spending millions of dollars every year to keep that stadium up to code.
Yes,
And it's poorly constructed, and they're not even done paying it off yet. And now they want to talk about putting more money into this and
yeah,
and then somebody released renderings of a dome stadium at Burke Lakefront Airport, and it's like, well, that's not going to happen because the
right.
FAA has that. So it's like that. That's just all these are just political games. And I'll tell you this, man, the most activity I got on an article that I wrote, I don't know if
Yeah.
you saw it or not, was I called what them trying to invoke the Art Modell law for the
Yes,
stadium. I called it a political stunt in my headline. I said
yes.
it's nothing but a
I
stunt.
saw that. Yeah,
It's complete. I had
yeah.
the most clicks I ever had. I mean, they went through the roof. I was like, whoa, where did this come
Wow.
from? I was like,
Well,
yeah, I was like,
good
whoa, okay.
job.
Well, I did something right because I just
What's
kind of
going
tore
over?
into the.
What's give me a
Oh,
number.
okay, okay.
What's that mean?
The number through the roof. Yeah, normally I would see about 20 clicks. This was
Yeah,
over 300.
that's amazing. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
this was over two, maybe
No,
like
I mean the
245.
thing about fans for and the folks who are listening to us right now.
I don't
Uh,
get paid per click. I don't try
no,
to
we
get
don't.
clicks.
No, and fans first. It's like we've written for other periodicals. I wrote for Dog Pound Daily, and a lot of what some of those they circulate into the like you get into the Google, the equations or whatever they call it. And fans for we don't so we really appreciate the fact when you guys read our articles. Lou writes an article practically every day,
Sometimes two.
twice a day.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And
write one
the
about.
fans first group are really supportive. They do all the advertising, all this stuff for our group here at the Fanatical Elves, and they pay per article. So
Yeah,
we really appreciate what they do. Those guys that help run it, they're from Pittsburgh, boo, but they're a good group of guys, and we really appreciate all their support at Fans First. But hey Lou,
93,
let's
90.
pause for a quick commercial, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back here on Stirring the Pot. There's Lou. I'm John. Johnny
Stirring the.
Cleveland, Lou Marconi. I was trying to pull the game up here myself. What's the
Yes,
score right now?
I got 93-89 and 4:45 to go,
Oh,
but it looks like New York's about to shoot foul shots.
are we winning?
We're winning
We're
by
winning.
4.
Okay.
Let's see if
I
this guy.
actually did the
I
I've
can't.
got the what do you call it? The
93-90, 93-90 now. The guy just made his first foul shot.
93-90. Okay.
So anyway, let's just talk about
Yeah.
the beginning of the game.
Yep.
And I knew they were going to do something about Jim Donovan. In lieu of doing player introductions,
Yes.
they did a video tribute to
Oh.
Jim Donovan on the scoreboard, and they had a
Okay.
moment of silence for him.
Oh, that's good.
That was something they did. And I guess Stefanski and Barry drove to Jim Donovan's house and gave the game ball to his family.
I did see that.
Megan's been on my show. Megan has been on my show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, oh, yeah, Megan's been on my show, and
That's
Cheryl,
great.
Megan, his wife Cheryl, yeah. Which Jim, I even wrote the not really. I don't want to call it an obituary. I call it more of a tribute article because I said R.I.P. Jim Donovan, Run William Run, and I just talked about that a lot of great calls that he made.
Uh-huh.
So it was really, I mean, it was tear jerking when they did it, but people were happy. People, it was, and that's why I put in the article I did about the Ravens game. I said the Browns win for Jim, beat Ravens 29-24. And it was just, yeah.
Well, you've forgive me, but you've worked with him, right? Going back
2000 to about 2005.
Because he started broadcasting for the Brownies in 1999, but he'd worked for
99.
Channel 3 forever, which you worked for. as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah, he was
Um,
started Channel 3 at 85.
yeah, the two really iconic um, ones that you hear, the Chubba Wubba Hub when he was running against the Atlanta Falcons game, and then the Run William Green or Run
Run,
William
yeah,
Run.
run, William, run. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that was that. I was at that game shooting fans, getting fans because it was crazy because some things had to happen for them to make the playoffs, even though they won.
yeah,
Some things had to happen for them to make the playoffs, and I guess it did. And we ended up, we had to go to Pittsburgh for the wild card game. That was,
yes.
yeah, that was that ever famous the downfall of Butch Davis game.
We're both watching. We got an eye on Darius Garland's hit two back-to-back 3-pointers now.
99, 91. Yeah.
Yeah, that New York just scored again, so I
Yeah,
might
yeah,
be a
99,
click ahead of you.
93. Yeah, it
But
might be. I'm using my Spectrum app, but yeah, Jimmy was a great guy, class act. I put him over huge in the article, which he was a good dude, and it's just
do
too
you
young,
remember?
too
I
soon, too
mentioned
young.
this to you, Nev Chandler, and then we had
Mhm.
Casey Coleman, and we
Gib
had
Shanley,
Gib Shanley, Gib
those are
Shanley.
the guys I remember. Yeah,
Yes, and then Doug Deacon was in there, as a color commentator.
I think Jim Mueller did it too, didn't he?
Jim Mueller, yes, yes, some really great personalities there. Just such a great guy that if you listen to any Browns games on the radio, is just you really looked forward to that. Even like you knew you're going to get, you knew when you would listen to games on the radio, and it was Jim Donovan, you knew get a good
We always
experience.
turn down our TV and put the radio on while watching it on TV.
Yeah,
It's just because we hated the network guys because
right.
they don't like Cleveland, and it's just like just some really the Cleveland gets knocked all the time.
No, really.
It's just that's why I was like, is that I was just like, really, is that all you
Yeah,
got? Steak by
yeah.
the lake. I said the jokes are like your hairstyle. They come from the '70s. Come on. I mean, Jesus. I mean, really? I mean, if you want to get into an insult contest with me, feel free to. I'd
Hey, I
love
was
to.
going to ask you a question about change a little bit of subject off
Okay,
our
sure.
team for
I
a quick
triggered a
second.
memory. I triggered a memory.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you saw the Richardson deal in Indianapolis with the Colts. Did you see what he did yesterday? He
No, I did
tapped
not.
he
No.
tapped him he tapped himself out after he played a play. He actually hit his helmet and asked the coaches to take him out because he was tired and winded. So it's gotten a little bit of publicity today in national media because he's a national football quarterback, and he just asked for basically a timeout while his team continued, and so I think they brought in Flacco. But there's been a lot of back and forth on that. I didn't know if you saw it. I just think it it kind of goes to the whole. This is me being an old guy, like what's up with these kids these days? I mean, it's like here's a guy, he's the national NFL quarterback, and he's asking for a playoff. You would never see a Patrick Mahomes or anybody else a Peyton Manning. Can you imagine? You know,
Or
one of
Dan
these.
Marino or John
Yes,
Elway or Joe Montana or Tom Brady. Just we
right.
can even go farther back, like a Kenny Stabler or Terry
Yes,
Bradshaw.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, no, that wouldn't happen.
I didn't know if you saw that, and I was just like, oh my gosh. So
Oh,
what happened? Oh, they
missed an
missed.
out.
Oh, they got the rebound. They're going to call foul. Oh, they're
Uh,
calling it on Cleveland.
oh, of course. Well,
Yeah.
it's just funny. Just like as soon as the referees would throw the flag during the game, it's on us. It's on us. I'm just hearing people in the crowd. It's like,
Well,
yeah,
I mean, looking forward to again San Diego or playing the Chargers,
well, Los
uh,
Angeles, but yeah,
Los
pretty close.
Angeles.
About an hour
Yes,
and a half drive. I actually made the drive on that Pacific Coast Highway from Los Angeles to San Diego.
you
I was
did.
out in California, yeah, doing my wrestling stuff, man. I had a great time when I was in Vegas out there, and just yeah, yeah. Those are stories, man. But I'll
If
be honest with you. When you got a West Coast team coming in for a 1 o'clock game, that's an advantage to us. They're
yeah,
not coming off a bye. They're not coming off a short week. But that right there it's tough. It's tough for a
mhm.
West Coast team to do that. Plus, the Chargers, they're not. I mean, the Saints really. How long is Derek Carr out for?
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Let me just go ahead and do that because we play them after the bye week.
We
Yeah,
do.
Rattler's terrible, and he got booed left and right.
Oh, we're turning the ball over here. Not good. Ooh, that's out of bounds now. New York's got the ball down by 4. We just turned the ball over to Karis LeVert. We're giving you the play-by-play here on Stirring the Pot. We're both, the Cavs are off to a really good start. They're 3-0.
Yep.
I think everybody
Been covering
feels like this is a good move with the team, a new coach, kind of a new vibe. They seem to be playing a little bit more freely offensively, but I like the fact that they got Dean Wade in there. I like the fact that the coach Atkinson trusts Dean. I think Dean's been one of the better players on this team when he's been healthy, and he makes a difference with that core 4 of players. So Evan Mobley's been stepping up, so good for him. Are you looking up stuff on Derek Carr?
Yeah, there's a Newsweek article, and Derek Carr will practice on Wednesday, and Dennis Allen is optimistic he'll play Sunday. So that's that. He had an oblique injury, and Nathan Carr would be out for more than 3 games. He appears to be ready to practice this week. Okay, so that's this week. So we'll see how he is after the bye. And
Okay.
he's one of those guys. But yeah, Rattler's just like awful. So,
Right.
yeah. So I got us.
I mean, if we can win this game against the Chargers and you got to bye, and then you come back and you go to play the Saints, right?
Yeah.
And
that's
then
a couple wins
then
in
you
a
come
row,
home and you have a Thursday night game against
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there.
So, yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah, I'm
be
not
there.
sure our plans on that one. I'm planning on being up there, but I'm not quite sure that's going to look yet.
Yeah, I know. It's in the week. So I just said this. Look, man. It's one game at a time.
Right.
One game at a time. Let's look at the Chargers. Chargers are a team. If this team plays like it did last week, and the defense has been playing pretty good all year.
Yeah.
It has been. Defense has been playing good enough for us to win. We just got to get that offense to be productive. I'm thinking Nick Chubb's going to be a little bit better. And I'm thinking Jameis might make better throws because that was the first time he started in 2 years.
Yeah.
He hasn't started since 2022.
Oh,
so
I know.
I'm thinking we could get better. We could get better.
Well, I looked at the last 10 games of his starts dating back to 2021 and 2022. He was 6-4. He threw 18 touchdowns, had 8 interceptions, had multiple games of over 200 yards, 250 yards of passing. He was decent. He
likes to be aggressive. Yeah, he likes to be aggressive down the field. I do. I was going to say this. I'm sitting there. We're on the 38-yard line. And I'm like, you know what, man? We get 20 yards. We can get a field goal with no time left. I'm thinking this.
Yes, right.
I'm thinking this. The next thing I know is like, oh shit, he's thrown deep. Oh, okay, touchdown. 1 minute to go. All right.
Right. I know.
And Baltimore doesn't have timeout, so and then and of course they made it a heart stopper at the end. To give you cardiac.
Well, the Cavs just got a good turnover.
Yeah,
they just forced a turnover and they got the ball back
with leading by 5 with like a minute to go.
But then now they just turned the ball back over. They just called a charge or an illegal screen on Jared Allen.
Oh yeah,
a minute to go.
Look at that. Yeah,
that's silly.
Yeah, it looked like hey.
Wow.
We got a minute to go and we're up by 5. That's good.
Yeah, we should. Now they got the ball back. I see why they called it on Jarrett. Yeah, he was dragging on what's his face.
Darius Garland with a block shot earlier. so
I missed the rebound. Oh, they got the ball back. Yep, Mobley's got it now.
Okay, rebound machine Mobley. I just wanted to say I'm optimistic about Sunday because I think if this team plays like this the rest of the year with the offense just being productive. I mean, you don't have to set the world on fire. Be productive. The defense will keep us in the games. And guess what? We're going to probably win some games as the season goes on. And I think, too, what I thought was silly was when Stefanski on Wednesday announced that the play call change was happening, like
yes,
you have Dorsey.
Yes.
I had a theory on that. And
I talked by the way, Steven, I don't agree with your theory, but Steven, I did talk about it on the pregame show. I don't know if you caught our show.
You did, because I said, okay, the line's going to be healthy. The heat won't be on them. So let them just that was my theory, was like Kevin Stefanski did it to take the heat knowing the offense wasn't going to be healthy. That was my theory.
And I mean, let's put it this way. It's not out of the realm of possibilities. I can agree with part of that theory. I just don't think it's true, but that's
okay. But he was asked at the press conference. I was listening to the press conference by Tony Grossi.
Yeah,
and he goes, "Is this a Hail Mary?" And he's like, "No." He kind of laughed it off. And then Grossi's headline, "Hail Mary by the Browns." And I'm like, "Come on, Tony." I'm like, "Come on, man, really?"
Right.
He laughed it off. He was just like, "No." Like he's making us. Everybody's thinking he's on
Yeah.
this hot seat. He's going to get canned.
Well,
And
and maybe he's
I don't.
not. See, I'm one that
I
has
don't
said that he is, but now the fact that they beat Baltimore like they did, I think you've got to. That's a big win. It's a big
that's a.
win.
It was a win that was needed. It
Yeah.
was a win that was needed, and people are feeling better now. Let's see what happens next week. Let's
We've
go.
beaten Baltimore the last 2 games we've played them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And we
I'd
have a
like to go
shot.
see. Let's go see another team that's beaten Baltimore. Though, who's the last team that's won the last 2 against Baltimore?
Kansas City.
I don't know.
Yeah, Kansas.
Oh,
They beat him in the opener, and they
yeah,
beat him in the AFC Championship game.
yeah. Okay,
So that's what I'm just thinking
yeah,
about. Now you're talking about divisional teams that
yeah.
have done it. Pittsburgh, maybe. Well, Pittsburgh swept them last year.
Oh, they did. Okay,
Yeah, they did. It was weird because with the last game of the season, Baltimore sat everybody.
okay.
So Pittsburgh did. I think Pittsburgh went one. They went 5-1 in the division last year, and we were their loss.
Mm,
That's how they made the playoffs. I mean,
okay.
they made the playoffs with 10 wins, and 5 of them were divisional wins, which
So
put
the
them up.
Bengals lost yesterday against Philly, which is
Yep,
a good. That's kind
they
of a
got blown out,
yeah,
37-17.
yeah.
Yeah, and I
And
think tonight, I let me take a quick look here. It's 103.98 with 49 seconds, or there's a
40
time.
seconds.
It's 9-9.
Oh,
9-9 Pittsburgh in third quarter. Pittsburgh and who's it? Pittsburgh and there's a flag. Was there a flag on this?
I'm not
I'm
sure what.
watching it with. Yeah, I'm about it's Pittsburgh 9-9 right now in the third quarter, and it looks like New York's got the ball and they're over the across the 50. So, but yeah, guys, I feel optimistic about it. I'm gonna go. Like I said, regardless what happens, I'm still gonna keep coming to games. I'm still gonna wear my Browns gear. I'm still gonna be a fan. It's like I'm not gonna just give up. I mean, for God,
No,
no.
no, and I think we have a really good shot on Sunday. I think we don't want to get our heads too high because San Diego or the Chargers can come in, and we've seen
I
them.
know. I still call the Raiders the Oakland Raiders. I
Well, they
still do.
lost to the Chargers the last time they came to Cleveland, which was I think 2 years ago. That
Yeah.
game was about the same time of the year, and it was one of those games where we should have won, but we made some mistakes. We missed some field goals. Do you remember that? It was all
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
midges and were out, and it was a nice.
There were some midges at the game Sunday. There was. Hey, are
Yeah,
we ready to wrap this show up?
we are. We are. We're gonna
Okay.
wrap it up.
Okay.
Any last thoughts, Lou?
No, I think we got a great shot on Sunday. I'm looking forward to a second victory Monday in a row. Great shot. We got a
Sounds
great
like
shot.
well,
I'm
I'll
looking forward to possibly
yeah,
doing that. We'll see what
and
happens.
enjoy your show Friday with
Sherry. Yeah, and Mike
Sherry.
Dave. I'll have Mike Davis on from Dallas. We're going to talk about stadiums.
Oh, that's great. He's coming on your show Friday.
Yep.
Awesome. I'll tune in.
Got a near emergency
Lou,
here, man. Got to go.
yeah, see ya. Bye. Go Browns.
Go Browns. I'll be right back.
Okay, see ya.
I'm gonna.